funny thing about attention, it burns. It burns hotter than a cheap fire in an open street. Everyone wants it. Everyone chases it, running like starving dogs after a scent they can't even see. But when it finally lands on you, when the eyes of the room shift, lock onto your silhouette, and the whispers start circling like vultures, it doesn't feel like a gift. No, it feels like a spotlight with a broken switch, one that won't ever turn off. People love to talk. They love to point their little fingers. They love to decide exactly who you are long before you even open your mouth to defend yourself. They build entire stories out of fragmented glass. They paint grotesque pictures of you using the colors of their own deep-seated insecurities. And suddenly, overnight, you are not just a person anymore. You are an idea, an obsession, a symbol they just can't stop chewing on. So they give you a name. They call you the chosen one, the haughty, the enigma everyone whispers about in the shadows. Let's figure their eyes can't help but follow. You see, when you become the dead center of their conversations, you are no longer just flesh and blood. You are a mirror. Every glance they throw at you, every sly comment, every hollow laugh behind closed doors, it's never really about you. It's about them, their insecurities, their hunger, their pathetic obsession with what they can't quite touch, but absolutely cannot ignore either. And there you stand, carrying a crown you never even asked for. But it's there all the same, isn't it? Invisible, yet heavier than iron. And oh, the twisted irony of it all. It glitters brighter in their envious eyes the more you pretend you don't even notice it. That's the curse of attention. It follows you. It hunts you down. It chains itself to your shadow like a desperate prisoner. But let me tell you something deliciously strange about it. It's also a crown, a weapon, a force of nature. People literally die to be noticed. They beg for it, cry for it, starve themselves to the bone for just a sliver of relevance. And here you are, drowning in it without even asking. They talk, they watch, they analyze every single move you make. Like you're some living puzzle they'll never be able to solve. They can't stop. And right there, that is your leverage. Because while they're so busy picking apart who you are, you get to play with who you want to be. You get to change the rules of the game while they're stuck studying old pages of a rule book that doesn't even exist anymore. Think about it. What does it do to a fragile mind when they can't escape your presence, even when you're not around? They'll be sitting at dinner, fork in hand, chewing on tasteless food, yet there you are, living rent-free in their thoughts. They'll be walking down the street, pretending to laugh with their friends, yet they are secretly measuring their entire worth against yours. They will curse your name into the wind, while secretly, desperately wishing to be you. And the sheer beauty of it is, you don't even have to move a single finger. That's how much raw power attention holds. That's how intoxicating it truly is. But here's the trick. Most ordinary people, when they finally get a taste of it, they waste it. They become slaves to the very thing that was supposed to set them apart. They start performing for the whispers, twisting themselves into a grotesque shape just to please a faceless crowd. And that's when the crown turns into a noose. That's when the curse bites back with venom. So here's the choice staring you in the face. You can wear that crown like a burden, dragging your bloody feet under its weight. Or You can tilt your head, let it shine in the harsh light, and make them bow to the very image they built in their own minds. Because once you realize the crown isn't theirs to give, but yours to wield, everything changes. You stop running from the whispers. You stop begging for their cheap approval. You start laughing, because now you see the raw truth. Their attention was never about you. It was about their emptiness, their quiet desperation, their primal need to latch onto something brighter than their own dull existence. And let's be brutally honest, being unforgettable comes with a steep price. The higher you rise in their stories, the deeper the shadows that follow you. You will become a target, a twisted fantasy, a threat, all at once. But that is exactly what makes the game worth playing. To be the center of their chaos, the pulse in their deafening silence. They will want to touch you, but they will always fear getting burned. And that fear? That is control. That is real power. You see, they can keep whispering. They can keep staring. Keep asking who you really are beneath the makeup and the suits. But here's the fun part. You don't owe them a damn answer. You can be everything they imagine, or absolutely nothing at all, because you are not their story. You are not the product of their petty gossip or their midnight fantasies. You are your own storm, your own flame, your own masterpiece. And once you start owning that, once you realize that the crown doesn't control you, you control the gaze, then suddenly all those whispers turn into applause, and all that bitter envy turns into a silence that tastes sweeter than anything they ever said. Whispers. Ah, those soft little daggers wrapped in silk. People like to think whispers are harmless, like feathers floating in the night air. But you and I both know better. Whispers are heavy. They carry more weight than shouts. A scream dies in a moment, but a whisper, it lingers, it multiplies, it festers. And here's the funny part. They whisper about you, not because of who you are, but because of who they are. The words rolling off their tongues reveal the cracks in their own walls, the stains in their own hearts. They whisper because they can't bear to say it out loud, that they are terrified of you, jealous of you, maybe even secretly longing to be you. Every time they lean in close, lowering their voice so the world won't hear, they are really confessing something. Their envy, their twisted curiosity, their own gaping emptiness. But instead of looking in the mirror, they point their little fingers at you. You have become their excuse. You have become the shadow they blame for their own lack of light. Isn't that ironic? They actually think they are tearing you apart. But the truth is, every word is an accidental confession of their own weakness. Every hushed conversation says more about them than it ever will about you. And let me tell you, whispers are highly addictive. Once they start, they can't stop. One rumor becomes another, then another, until it's a heavy iron chain they can't break. It's like watching someone choke on the thick smoke from the fire they lit themselves. They can't breathe, but they can't walk away either. They are stuck, enslaved by the very stories they created. That's the true nature of whispers. They always turn on their masters. And while they are caught up choking, you get to stand back and smile. Because none of it touches you unless you let it. You see, when they whisper about you, they hand you a map of their fears. They show you exactly where their insecurities live, exactly where their weak spots hide. They are not exposing you, they are exposing themselves. And if you are clever enough, you don't fight the whispers. You don't run from them. You use them. You let them echo, let them build, let them draw the crowd closer. Because the louder their secrets about you sound in someone else's ear, the more everyone wants to see if it's true. And when they look, what do they see? You, still standing, still breathing, still completely untouchable. That is exactly when the whispers backfire. But here is the tragedy. Most people, when they hear whispers about themselves, they panic. They chase them down, try to smother them, try to desperately explain themselves into silence. That is weakness. That is absolute surrender. The moment you try to correct their story, you have admitted that the story has power over you. But you are smarter than that. You know whispers are only as sharp as the reaction they provoke. Stay calm, stay silent, and suddenly their precious whispers crumble into dust. Because what is a rumor without a reaction? Nothing, just hot air dissolving into the night. And oh, the sweetest part, when you don't play their game, when you don't dance to their fragile whispers, you become something far more dangerous, unpredictable. They whisper to control you, to shrink you, to pin you down with petty labels and pathetic lies. But when you don't react, when you keep moving like the whispers are nothing but static background noise, you drive them absolutely insane. They will whisper louder, faster, more desperately, because silence is their worst enemy. They need you to respond, and when you don't, they are left exposed, like children shouting into a void that never answers back. So let them whisper. Let them poison their own air with their own fear. Every word is a confession. Every secret is a mirror. And while they think they are writing your story, they are really writing their own. One filled with envy, with deep cracks, with the pathetic sound of their own voices echoing back at them. They don't even realize it, but the more they whisper, the more they are telling the world exactly who they are. Envy is a clever little actor. It doesn't walk up to you and introduce itself. No. It hides behind claps, behind fake smiles, behind the word congratulations. They will toast you. They will shake your hand. They will look you dead in the eye and say, "I'm happy for you." But underneath those hollow words, their teeth are grinding. Underneath that plastic smile, there is a storm brewing. You can see it if you look closely. The way their eyes linger a little too long. The way their voice cracks just a fraction when they praise you. That is envy, wearing admiration as a cheap mask. It's the green ghost that follows you into every room, pretending to cheer while secretly, desperately waiting for you to fall. You see, envy never likes to show its face. It's a coward like that. It prefers disguises because the truth of it is too ugly for most people to admit. Nobody wants to say, "I wish I had your life, your looks, your strength, your presence." Nobody wants to admit they intensely crave what you carry so effortlessly. So they wrap it in compliments. They turn it into unsolicited advice, or even gossip dressed up as truth. But if you peel away the layers, it's always the exact same thing. They want what you have, and they hate that they don't have it. And the dangerous part? Envy doesn't stay still. It grows, like a thick vine wrapping itself tighter and tighter. It begins to choke them from the inside. First, it's a quiet whisper in their head. Why them and not me? Then it becomes a sick habit, comparing, calculating, measuring themselves against you at every single step. And then, if you're not careful, it turns into action. That's when they start plotting. That's when their smiles sharpen into knives. They will dress it up, of course. Pretend it's harmless fun. Pretend it's just friendly competition. But you will know. You will feel it in the way they hover too close. The way they want to know every detail, every move. Not because they care, but because they are desperately looking for cracks. But here's the fun part about envy. It's also a deep confession. If someone envies you, it means you hold something they simply cannot ignore. It means you are ahead of them, above them, shining in a way they could never match. Envy is like a neon sign flashing. You are doing something right. That's why they can't stop watching you. That's why they can't stop talking about you. They will tell themselves it's hate. But hate is just love that's been twisted by sheer frustration. If they didn't care, they would ignore you. But they can't. Because envy ties them to you like a heavy iron chain. They are prisoners of the very thing they despise. And here is the ultimate choice. You can let their envy poison you, or you can let it fuel you. Because envy is contagious, and if you let it, it can crawl into your own skin, make you paranoid, make you bitter, make you doubt yourself. But if you understand it, if you see it for what it really is, then it becomes your power. Every envious glance becomes undeniable proof of your impact. Every fake smile becomes validation of your presence. You stop fearing their envy, and you start feeding off it. You turn their resentment into a daily reminder that you are on the exact right path. But don't be naive. Envy doesn't just disappear because you've learned how to use it. It lingers. It festers. Some will try to actively undermine you, to drag you down to their miserable level, because envy hates being ignored. It wants to be seen, to be acknowledged. And when you rise above it, when you absolutely refuse to get tangled in their petty jealousy, that is when it burns them the most. Because the brutal truth is, envy cannot hurt you unless you let it. It only has as much power as you give it. So when you catch that flicker in their eye, that tiny crack in their voice, that dark shadow in their applause, don't shrink, don't doubt. Smile back, because you have just seen the raw truth behind their mask. And isn't it funny? They think they are hiding it from you, but envy has a way of revealing itself every single time. Being unforgettable is a massive blessing, perfectly dressed as a curse. You walk into a room and the air shifts. Eyes drag across you like magnets pulled against their will. You don't ask for it, but you feel it. People notice, people remember, and they carry you with them long after you are gone. That is what it means to stand out. And as intoxicating as it sounds, it paints a massive target on your back the moment it happens. Because people despise what they can't ignore. They despise someone who doesn't fade into the wallpaper like everyone else. You become a walking reminder of everything they are not, and reminders sting. The thing about being unforgettable is that it makes ordinary people restless. They will either idolize you, or they will absolutely despise you. Sometimes both at the exact same time. One day you are their inspiration. The next you are the villain in their little bedtime stories. They will copy you, mimic your words, your moves, your style, just to feel a fraction of what it's like to be you. And when it doesn't work, when they realize that no matter how much they mirror you, they still fall devastatingly short, that's when the bitterness sets in. That's when admiration twists violently into resentment. It's like a game they can't possibly win, and the more they lose, the more they hate the player. But that is the price of being unforgettable. You cannot control the way people react to you. You can only control how you respond. Most people will tell you to tone it down, to play smaller, to dim your own light so others don't feel uncomfortable in the dark. But why should you? Why should you carry the dead weight of their insecurities just to make them feel safe? Being unforgettable means you were never meant to be safe. You were meant to rattle cages, shake foundations, force people to look in the mirror and see everything they are missing. It's not about making them comfortable, it's about making them awake. And of course, being unforgettable also means you will be profoundly misunderstood. People will build elaborate stories about you, twist your actions into motives you never had, attach labels that do not belong to you. They will tell themselves comforting lies about who you are, not because they know the truth, but because it's easier for them to believe their own fiction. That's the game. You stop being a person and start becoming a symbol, a story, a myth they can project their own failures onto. You become whatever they need you to be in their little worlds, whether it's a hero, a villain, or a rival. And the ultimate irony? You don't even have to play along. Just by existing, you have already stolen the spotlight in their minds. And yet, here is the twisted beauty of it all. Being unforgettable means pure control. They may talk, they may mock, they may try to erase you, but none of it works. Your presence lingers like a fingerprint they simply cannot scrub away. Even when they try to ignore you, the effort itself is undeniable proof of how deeply you've marked them. You haunt their thoughts, their conversations, their silence. You are a ghost they cannot exorcise, and ghosts are incredibly powerful things. The danger, though, is forgetting that this power cuts both ways. Some people drown in the attention, become addicted to it, start living for the reaction instead of the reality. That's when they lose themselves. That's when the crown they wear turns into a heavy, rusted chain. But if you learn to stand apart without needing their applause, if you can remain unforgettable without selling your soul to their opinions, then you've mastered it. Then you have turned the curse into something else entirely. A weapon, a shield, a throne they can never, ever touch. So yes, being unforgettable makes you a target. People will envy, mock, worship, and despise all of it. But it also makes you completely untouchable. Because once you have carved yourself into their minds, once you have burned your image into their memory, there is nothing they can do to erase you. They can hate you, but they can never forget you. And that is the kind of power that makes the world uneasy. That is the kind of power that keeps you alive long after you've left the room. Power isn't in being seen. Power is in controlling the gaze. Anyone can be looked at. Anyone can draw attention with loud noise, with cheap chaos, with beauty. That's the easy part. But real power, the kind that truly unsettles people, the kind that makes them squirm in their seats, is when you dictate exactly how they see you. When you decide the angle, the timing, the lens. When their eyes don't just fall on you by accident, but because you placed yourself exactly where you wanted to be, in exactly the way you wanted them to notice. That's not vanity. That is pure strategy. Think about it. A spotlight can blind just as much as it can illuminate. If you are careless, it exposes your flaws, your cracks, every little imperfection. But if you are deliberate, it becomes your most lethal tool. You step into it only when you are ready. You step out when you've made your point. You let them see exactly what you want them to see, and absolutely nothing else. That is how kings are made. Not by being present and loud all the time, but by being completely unforgettable when it matters. You don't feed the crowd scraps. You starve them until the hunger is unbearable. Then you walk in and give them just a taste. And that taste stays with them far longer than a feast ever could.